They called him a loser. Now they beg him for help. Imagine going to school every day knowing that no matter what you do, someone is waiting to make your life miserable. That was Ethan's reality. Every morning, he walked through the school gates hoping things would be different. But they never were. As soon as Ethan entered the hallway, the whispers started. "There goes the loser. Watch out, genius is coming." The students laughed as Ethan lowered his head and continued walking. Then came Jake, the most popular kid in school. Tall, strong, confident, and feared by almost everyone. Jake walked up to Ethan with a grin on his face. Without warning, he grabbed Ethan's backpack and threw it across the hallway. Books scattered everywhere. Students burst into laughter. Ethan dropped to his knees and quickly gathered his things while everyone watched. Jake leaned down and smirked. Maybe if you spent less time studying and more time getting a life, people would actually respect you. The hallway exploded with laughter. Ethan didn't say a word. He simply picked up his books and walked away. But deep inside, the pain was growing. And things only got worse. Every day, the bullying continued. The bullies stole his lunch. They mocked his clothes. They called him names. Some students joined in just because they were afraid of becoming the next target. Soon, Ethan felt completely alone. Then one afternoon during gym class, everything changed. The students were playing basketball when Jake deliberately bumped into Ethan, sending him crashing to the floor. The gym erupted with laughter. Something inside Ethan finally snapped. He stood up. His fists clenched. His heart pounded. For the first time ever, he pushed Jake back. The entire gym fell silent. Jake looked shocked, then angry. Within seconds, the two boys were fighting. Students rushed toward them, forming a circle. Ethan threw everything he had into the fight. But Jake was bigger, stronger, more experienced. The fight ended quickly. Ethan found himself lying on the floor while students cheered for Jake. Humiliated and bruised, Ethan walked home alone. That night, he sat quietly in his room. His face still hurt. His pride hurt even more. He stared at the old broken computer sitting on his desk. It wasn't worth much. Most people would have thrown it away. But Ethan saw something different. He saw an opportunity. At that moment, he made a decision that would change his life forever. "If I can't beat them with my fists," he whispered, "I'll beat them with my mind." From that day forward, Ethan worked harder than anyone else. While other students played video games, Ethan studied. While others slept, Ethan learned. He read books about engineering. He learned computer programming. He studied robotics, mathematics, artificial intelligence. Every day he became smarter. Every week he became more skilled. Months passed. Slowly, Ethan transformed into someone extraordinary. Then one morning, the school made a huge announcement. A national technology competition was coming. Students would compete to create innovative projects using science and technology. The winners would earn scholarships and recognition across the country. At first, Jake and his friends laughed. Who cares about some nerd competition? Jake said. But then the principal revealed something shocking. Participation would count toward graduation requirements. Suddenly, nobody was laughing. The project was incredibly difficult. Students struggled to understand the instructions. Even the smartest groups couldn't figure everything out. Meanwhile, Ethan quietly got to work. For weeks, he stayed focused. When competition day arrived, students filled the auditorium. Judges sat at long tables. Teachers watched with excitement. Then Ethan unveiled his project. The room went silent. Standing beside him was an advanced robot that could solve complex problems and interact with people. The judges couldn't believe what they were seeing. The audience stared in amazement. Teachers exchanged shocked looks. When Ethan demonstrated the robot's abilities, the crowd erupted into applause. He won first place by a huge margin. Almost overnight, Ethan became famous throughout the school. Students who once ignored him suddenly wanted to talk to him. Teachers praised him. Local news stations covered his achievement. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt respected. But someone else was feeling something very different: Jake. Despite all his confidence, Jake's project was a disaster. His entire group was failing. If they couldn't fix their project soon, they might not graduate. Days passed. Nothing worked. Panic spread through the group. Finally, Jake realized there was only one person who could help. The person he had spent years bullying. The next day during lunch, the cafeteria was packed. Students chatted and laughed. Then suddenly, the room grew quiet. Everyone watched as Jake and his friends walked directly toward Ethan. Jake stopped in front of him. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then something unbelievable happened. Jake lowered his head. The cafeteria gasped. "Ethan," Jake said quietly, "we need your help." Ethan looked up. The same boy who had humiliated him. The same boy who had laughed at him. The same boy who had made his life miserable was now standing before him asking for help. "We can't finish our project," Jake admitted. "If we fail, we won't graduate." His voice trembled. "Please help us." The entire cafeteria watched. Nobody could believe what they were seeing. Ethan remained silent. Memories rushed through his mind. The insults, the humiliation, the loneliness. He had every reason to say no. Every reason to walk away. Every reason to get revenge. Instead, Ethan smiled. "I'll help you." The cafeteria became completely silent. Jake stared in disbelief. "After everything we've done to you?" Ethan nodded. Then he said something nobody would ever forget. "Being smart isn't about proving you're better than other people. It's about helping people become better." For the first time, Jake felt ashamed of his actions. Over the next several weeks, Ethan helped the group every day. He taught them patiently. He explained difficult concepts. He answered their questions. Slowly, Jake and his friends began to change. They stopped bullying others. They started working hard. And for the first time, they genuinely respected Ethan. When graduation day finally arrived, the entire school gathered together. Students celebrated with friends and family. Then, in front of everyone, Jake walked up to Ethan. The crowd watched closely. Jake extended his hand. "I'm sorry," he said. "I should have treated you better." Ethan smiled and shook his hand. The crowd applauded. The boy they once called a loser had become the person everyone respected. Not because he was the smartest, not because he won competitions, but because he chose kindness when revenge would have been easier. And that's what made him truly extraordinary. Remember this: never underestimate the quiet person in the room. The people you laugh at today may become the people you need tomorrow. And true strength isn't found in your fists. It's found in your character.